Hey guys, welcome back. This is Real Estate Uncensored. As you can tell, we always have fun on the pre-show. Alyssa and I are riffing. We cannot wait to talk to you about a lot of fun things. Today, we're going to be talking about the truth about misinformation on social media for real estate agents. There is so much there because a lot of us are looking for things that we want to put into our businesses, but we don't know if we should put them into our businesses. But then some people say yes, some people say no. What should we do? We don't know. So we are going to help you guys walk through that conversation. Before we get into our content, Miss Alysa Gletz, color my credit. What up, girl?
Hey, I'm so glad to be here. It's a great day. I feel a million times better than I have, as you have. We've both been ill, and now it's going good. So
we were talking pre-show about that, and I was saying that if we had to do the show yesterday, I would have died in my pants. Not literally, but you know what I mean. Like I would have died.
It would have, died.
I just laid on the couch and I watched Netflix all day, barely drank water, and I got up. I'm blessed. I took wellness formula. We're up and running. But that's not misinformation on social media.
No.
Alyssa, what is misinformation on social media that you've experienced so far? Yeah. I'd just like to hear a couple of stories really quickly.
Okay. I actually have one this morning. I was thinking this morning about how back in the early TikTok days, okay, I'm saying like end of 2019, beginning of 2020, wasn't really the beginning of TikTok days, but I can remember one night getting on and putting in hashtag mortgage lender on TikTok, and 3 people came up. It was me, Scott Bentley, and a guy named Dallas, Dallas Mortgage Guy.
That was his real name.
That was it. Dallas Mortgage Guy. I don't really know what his real name is. He's in Dallas. But I remember looking, going, gosh, have we jumped in on something here or what? You know, at that point, I think we could even, and I did it on a ton of the hashtags back then. But anyways, I tried to kind of own them in a way, you know. But anyway, there was only a couple of us as mortgage lenders on there. It was kind of a newer concept about going on there and talking, you know, education, right? And now, obviously, it's kind of a joke how we all laugh about, would you learn that on TikTok? You know, because half the time it is crap. We've started to figure out how you find, a lot of people send me stuff as they do you all day long and say, is this true? Is this true? Mm-hmm. Is this true? So it's a constant feeling of that. But I'm looking up Dallas and Scott Bentley. Scott Bentley has continued all through this. He's that mortgage guy. But the other guy, Dallas, I'm like, gosh, what happened to that guy? Because he was on and he was one of the first. And where did he go? And so I went to his page and I watched a video, the last video he put up, which was the end of 2021. And the video said, hey, guys, I want to let you know as a mortgage lender that Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are allowing a different credit score now. And now they're averaging your credit scores. And I just sat there and went, that's totally inaccurate. I could see in the moment that they were announcing that they were going to average credit scores within this automated underwriting system, how that could have got confusing, you know, but he blatantly put out wrong information. And I was like, oh my gosh, does this guy even know that he hasn't deleted this? And clearly I know he knows now that he was wrong. But do you go back and delete the messages that you've put out there? You know, maybe not. I don't know. But that was one recently this morning that I went, oh, my gosh, you know, the power you got, buddy.
Well, following what you just said, I mean, when it comes down to misinformation on social media, a lot of people think, and I believed it for a long period of time because I was told by social media, hey, if you're an early adopter into like doing live videos or anything else, we'll help boost your channel, boost your views and so on and so forth. So I'm like, all right, I'm totally in on this. Let's go. Because I believed the information, didn't read the contract, didn't understand the legalese, and that's my fault. All right. But who's the last person that read a whole fucking, you know, legally, you know, 10 billion pages from Instagram, Facebook, you know, Snapchat, you know, TikTok, you pick your platform, you're never going to read it. It's going to take too much time and you're not going to understand 90% of the language because they do that to confuse you. So when it comes to misinformation, I was told, Greg, we'll build you up. I'm like, okay, I'll try this. So I started doing my videos, doing my live calls and so on and so forth. And dude, one of my videos on doing live calls, I shit my pants. Dude, okay. I got 10,000 views on one video holding. And I'm like, okay, somebody over Facebook really likes the content. They're like, oh, pull that meter up. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I walked out my office door that day going, I fucking made it. I fucking made it, dude.
I got
Fucking
4
there.
views. Yeah. Yeah. We get really excited.
But the reality is that was misinformation to me because it wasn't real. The
Yeah.
algorithm was just had a glitch
Had a
somewhere
day.
in there. And it did help our view counts a little
Yeah.
bit. And view counts is something that we put a lot of energy behind, being a part of that, right? Because it's the endorphins are released when
Yeah.
you see a high view count. You and
Yeah.
I are talking about that in pre-show, and we're both like, "Gosh dang it, we're seeing a certain change in our view counts right now. What the
Mhm.
heck is the difference?" And you're like, "Well, my view counts yesterday
Must
were
be.
fantastic."
Yeah. I'm like, must be me. I don't know,
You wore
But that's
deodorant
true.
that day. Okay,
Yeah.
good. Okay, good. Let's go.
But you almost, and I mean, just as a side note, you cannot ever get really tied to the amount of views, the amount of I can remember so many times where I would have a color my credit workshop, and my mom, who was a loan officer as well, would be like, how many people do you have signed up? And I'm like, we have a few people. And I would never hire people to, like, fill up the room. But in the end, I'd always explain to her, like, look, all I need is one. All I need is one person who really hears me, and then they go put it into their life, and their credit gets better. They buy a house, they do I need one, but it's always been like your validity and who you are, and whether people are always watching to see how many people like it, how many people view it. And then they
Yep.
go to the comments, right? Because I mean, you and I both know, for a video to really take off doesn't necessarily mean the information is accurate. If you read in the comments, a lot of times the videos that have completely gone off the rails as far as being viral in our industry, it's because of something that someone said that was inaccurate in the video. So there's a million comments of people saying that's not right, that's not right. I had a recent video of Katie Porter. I did a little duet with, because she called out the head of the CFPB, the old head of the CFPB, and had her explained to her, asked what's APR, and it was hilarious how she just really couldn't understand it. But that video's got almost, I think it's almost at like 2 million views. A lot of it is people commenting what they think the APR really is.
And that okay, so that let me ask this question and return to you,
Mhm.
okay?
Yeah.
So with that mindset,
Mhm.
should and I'm not saying you should. It's a
Mhm.
hypothetical question.
Mhm.
Should agents and lenders and just content creators throw out misinformation to create the comments, which boosts your visibility, which gets here's the counterpart, what gives you the ability to then say, okay, you know what? I was wrong, or this person's right, or create that narrative in the dialogues, which boosts the comments a little bit more. So if
Mhm.
I come out and I say, you know what, I'm a real estate agent for 24, going on 25 years, and I got to tell you one thing, in my experience, there's no way this market's going to go down. It can't go down. I've seen it go down. It will never go down. If you guys think I'm wrong, tell me in the comments. And I'm sitting there going like, huh, that's actually an interesting concept because people do that all the time when I listen to political podcasts on both sides, like the
Right.
really good podcasters and the really good YouTubers, they'll ask the question, right? And they'll say, "Hey, give me your thoughts. Help me understand."
They
And I'm
want
like,
the
"This is stupid."
controversy.
They
Yeah.
want the controversy. That's why
Mhm.
Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, Sky News, pick your poison, right?
Yep.
Every one of them, it's not all perfect. It's not
Mm.
all great content. The reason why is they need you to get upset. So we're conditioned subconsciously to be upset and then be a finger warrior, just like "Grr, grr,
Right.
grr,
Right.
grr," and
Well,
that
that's the thing, is
boosts your
even
views.
that Katie Porter video, if I would have just laid the video out, right? But I knew at the very, very last minute, I decided to put up what I thought the calculated APR was on her little Katie's scenario. Okay. Now, again, it's controversial. That's why so many people. But I will tell you that I purposely put it up, even though I could have. In other words, I created the APR based on the fact that a payday for somebody who's going to be borrowing money from a payday lender at 2 weeks, they're going to probably continue to keep that loan going, or it's going to continue to make them have to keep coming back and still borrow the 200 and then borrow the 200. So I was looking at the APR kind of as a whole, as a yearly thing. And I knew it was an outrageous number. And there was a part of me that said, don't even put an APR up, because then it's going to make people think I'm not valid. But I can tell you, if I didn't put that APR up at the end, there wouldn't be as many views.
But think
you
about
have to give them something to at least
so here's another thought pattern when it comes to misinformation on social media, right? If agents, and this could be a legal liability, so everybody check with your broker, your legal team, and everything else. If you intentionally mislead the public, that could be a massive problem. Look at the NAR lawsuit right now with the potential brokers. I'm putting air quotes out there right now, potential brokers misleading consumers about commissions, which it's not misleading and it's in the contracts, but that's a totally different discussion pattern. But on social media, it was out there. We're talking about it, right?
Right.
Our good friend Ricky Caruth, he's doing an excellent job of going out there, reading the news, and being a newscaster for the industry. This is something I've been talking about for a long period of time, getting out there and just say, hey, here's Inman, here's CNN, here's Fox News, here's fill in blank of, whatever you want to contrast, and say, this is my opinion. Which one do you think is misleading to the general public? Therefore, you are completely absolved of any litigation towards you for saying, oh, well, I told you it was this. Like, no. Ask the question. They answered. And here are the two different national sources. So if you were to move forward, Alyssa, in 2024, which you're going to do because you're a beautiful, wonderful, powerful woman, and you're going to crush skulls, right?
Yes.
Platforms. If you're going to take this out, what platforms do you feel would have the least misinformation, and where do you think the opportunity is for somebody to kind of leverage the system a little bit so that they could say something not 100% untrue, but just enough to get conversation going, or compare and contrast? Where would you go?
I would probably stick with YouTube right now. YouTube and TikTok, to me, the rest of them, just to get the traction and everything, I think that YouTube and Facebook are the play. But I also think that, you'd be surprised. I know that you are in a lot of these Facebook groups. There's a ton of them, lab code agents. There's just so many of them. And every day, in fact, I was just saying the other day, I think I'm going to change up my Facebook feed, because it has become just real estate groups and, groups that are like, am I dating your boyfriend kind of groups. I don't know why I'm on those too, but I am.
Yeah, why are you on those?
But it's just this whole feed of lenders and realtors all discussing things. And it's interesting because subject to transactions have been quite a bit of conflict, a lot of misinformation. Okay. A lot of, and I know that you like those type of transactions, or that you're, that's something that you're very interested in. I have a good friend who's a realtor who has definitely made this her thing. She's created these Zoom classes, everything, to not only talk about like subject to, but talking about lease option. Like, what other alternatives are there? Is there a contract for agreement, like assigning contracts and stuff? But there's so much misinformation. When you look and read these groups, there are agents that are on one side saying, or realtors on one side saying, that's illegal and that's completely fraud and blah, 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 and all of that, right? And they make a good point. And then you got Colleen, or you've got other people that do this for a living, and it's for more, they're focused on a specific group of distressed sellers. They're focused on, all these other aspects that they think they are serving. This is the way that they serve sellers out there. Okay. And so, and everybody can see, I could see everybody out there, you can fall on either side of it, where you could almost make a whole debate of why it's okay and why and why it's completely not. So that's the thing, is that a lot of the misinformation I see is not completely misinformation, but there's more context that needs to be there. They need to explain more where they're coming from with it, and then it does make sense, maybe.
Well, it's okay. So I always love to do dating analogies, right? Because dating, it's a cat and mouse game.
Mm-hmm.
He gives a little, she gives a little. They kind of figure each other out a little bit. Or if you're into dudes or into chicks, I don't really give a shit. But you know what the fuck I'm saying. But the point is that it's always like a mental fucking gymnastics. Like who can outsmart the other person? Who can do this? Who can do that? But then you figure it out, and you're like, okay, I accept you. But to get to that point of acceptance, what I've experienced personally, and this just came to me a second ago, is I'll tell you a new title I just came up with. For a whole series of videos or podcasts or articles or content creation or just conversations, right? Doesn't matter. And it could be either tell me your thoughts or give me your thoughts on said subject. So now when you go out there, you say, "Hey guys, this is Alyssa Glutz with Color My Credit. Hey, this is our show. You know, give me your thoughts on mortgage rates in 2024. Pick a topic, right? Then you cite stats through Chat GTP or any other, open AI, whatever you want to use. And it goes, okay, pros, cons, here's what I'm seeing, here's what I saw, here's what I was in the past. What do you guys think is going to be happening? Give me your thoughts in the comments. See you guys on the next video. Something that's very benign.
You're right. Something that's benign, but something that it's key to ask Chad to give me things that will create engagement. You know what I'm saying? You have to be very specific when you're looking to get him to assist you creatively. But yeah, you want to, I think that's more than anything else when I'm trying to put a video together or putting anything out there. My goal, and I would hope most people out there on social media are not trying to go out with misinformation. They're trying to be factual, but they may be misunderstood. Debbie knows that too. Debbie sees it too, that there is all kinds of stuff that really the people are selling it so well. And it's because they probably believe that the information's true, right? I'm sure there's been times in your life that you have fully believed something where you logically can make it clear in your head. And then somebody explains to you that that's incorrect. And even though it takes you a little bit, your pride hurts, then you go, oh shit, they're right.
Damn it. I got to walk that back. Son of a biscuit. But
I think that's the most important thing you can do as a person is to be humble as a creator or content creator, as a realtor, that you are, and be very careful that you double check and triple check your facts before you just throw out information.
Well, that goes into being a professional and a trusted asset and a resource for your community, for your clients, your past clients, future clients, so on and so forth, because people are going to research you. So, I mean, this is a conversation and a debate. This is not a dictation of what you should be doing in your business. Okay. I want everyone to get that real fucking clear. Don't get twisted on that. It's just talking about hypothetical opportunities to either allow the misinformation to help you grow your visibility, but not create the misinformation. Ask questions about, hey, these are my thoughts. This is what I saw. This is what I took away from it. What did you guys take away from it? But it's also, if you see someone blatantly saying something that's not right, then you have an obligation to go out and say, look, bro, sis, you are fucking off the reservation right now, and you need to dial your shit back because people are going to follow and listen to that and take action. I have taken action on information, politically, when I'm like, oh, this son of a blah, 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 do such and such and such, right? And then I get told later, I'm like, whoops, I'm gonna shut
didn't mean that. Yeah. You've got to be, it's a social conscious. You should be doing that anyway. You should always be double checking, making sure the information is accurate. It's just so easy for us to get here's something. And if it logically makes somewhat sense in your head, how you can just run with it. You can also do that. Think about how many people that we know said, yeah, I tried chat and I didn't get it. I didn't like it. They like, that's my daughters. They'll go, I hate mushrooms. No, you had mushroom one time. And then you've just decided for your entire life, you're never going to eat mushrooms. No. What is that?
Yeah.
But for the rest of their life, I mean, they would rather die than mushrooms,
And that's the thing about misinformation, and that's how you, as a content creator and as an agent and as a lender, you hold the levers of a control at some level in front of your competitors and in front of yourself to show them what's really going on. I started this podcast to give pure, honest, real, authentic content at a zero cost basis with humor and just good people, right? That was the whole idea behind the show. Because I want to take away the bullshit. Yeah, that's why
I signed up,
you're
Greg.
hanging
I
out.
loved it from day one. You were the only person, and I've been asked a lot to do podcasts over these last few years. Every single one of them, it was like the agenda was there. They were like, "We really want you," and you're like, "Awesome, okay, good, okay, cool. You need to go out and get this many sponsors and get this much." And I get it; it's all business. But when you asked me to co-host this with you, it was so genuine. I think I even sent you a genuine like video back, like, "Oh my gosh, you want me to be your," it was I'm like, "What do you want from me?" Like, I fully expected there's got to be an agenda here. What does he want? He doesn't want anything from me. You are one of the only people in my life I've ever met that doesn't want you don't want to date me. You don't want my money. You don't even really want my leads. You've never even asked me about my leads. You're a realtor, and I would give them to you anyway. But there needs to be more genuine like that. I gotta say that to you because you've always been so super genuine like that. It's so hard to find that somebody doesn't have an agenda with you always.
I honestly, I appreciate that more than you know. I literally have never thought of you any more than as a friend who's intelligent, who's got a great, personality for camera. And I thought that you do well. I would do well partnering up together in this. And I think a lot of the times people go into an expectation relationship saying, well, I expect blah. And that can be with a social media company. That could be with a personal friend, a lover, a family member. There's expectations that people will fall short of. Social media companies will fall short of because you're at one level, they're at another level. They're never going to be on the same unless you're paying a lot of money for the social media. That's just a fact. I mean, if you pay, when it comes to Zillow, if you're paying like $100,000 a month, you get your own concierge. That's just fucking stupid. And I get it. It's their model. That's fine. But we've got to stop as agents comparing ourselves to other real estate agents, other lenders, other content creators. Stop looking the fuck around. Michael Phelps, greatest swimmer on earth, right?
Yeah.
He never looked around in his races. He might have looked around when he wasn't racing, right? Everyone does that. But when his game was race time, motherfucker didn't look. There's that famous photo of him just crushing past that fool at the very last second. The competitors looking at him like mid-stride, like, what are you doing?
Yep.
And he just fucking nailed it, and he got the win.
Yeah.
So if we compare ourselves, then are we providing misinformation, or is the other person providing misinformation, and we want to get back at the other person by providing information on top of their information? Now, who's the liar?
The guy that we had on last week, I was going to mention, and I think we mentioned it on the show. You know why he's doing so well this year? Because he doesn't know it's a crappy year. The first year in the business, I remember having a killer like December. I killed it. I think I did, I don't know, 5 million or something, some amazing number. And I remember Lowell, Lily, my boss, like my old boss, everybody's looking at me going, why is she killing it? Like, does she realize it's Christmas? It's down season? Like, nobody does business right now. The minute that you feel you're being led by everybody around you and how the seasons are and what they are, the reason why that kid was successful last week, beyond a lot of other stuff, but was because he puts his head down like Michael Phelps and he works. And he was like, I'm like, do you read newspapers much? No. Do you watch TV? No. Yep. That's the idea. Head down, focus on what you need to do, Yeah,
you're talking about Allie and Shelby. They were on last week with us, and they just knocked it out of the friggin' park. You brought something up to me. There was a story that I was told a number of years ago. It was about a gentleman in the 1920s. This was when like long running actually started to become a thing, and they just started making tennis shoes. And he's a farmer, right? And he's like, I can run, I'm pretty good at running. I can do a race, a marathon race. And so all the other people in the race had all their special gear, highest technology, blah, blah, blah. So the gun goes off, bang, and everyone takes off. Well, this fool's wearing overalls and work boots. He's like, all right, here we go. And he just started trotting away. And at nighttime, all the other runners stopped to sleep, rest, stretch, eat, shit, whatever. He didn't know to stop. So he just ran through the night. He thought everybody was doing the same thing. He passed the line and beat them at an exponential amount. And everyone's like, how could you do this? And he literally said, I just didn't know to stop. So for us in content creation and going out there and just thinking about what all the other, so the misinformation really goes to that point, goes, look, it was good information, but it was misinformation because the people who stopped were misinformed about the gentleman who wouldn't stop. They didn't know that other person was there. Once you see the other person there that doesn't stop ever, you think you get a rest day. Alyssa and I've been sick for the last 2 days, obviously independently. I stopped for a day and a half, 2 days. I was about ready to die. My lungs were killing me. My body was killing me. Never mind. It's a lot of nastiness, right?
Oh yeah.
But what if you were the guy in 1920s running one of the first marathon races with boots on? And when I say boots, I mean not knowing what you don't know, and then just not look around and just run through the night and never stop or give a shit about what everyone else is doing. How powerful do you think you're going to be at the end of that race?
Yeah. Amazing. That's totally true. That's Roger Federer too. You know, the guy that ran the first. When you think about how many people after that first year, you know, did as well as him. I mean, it's just like it sets a new standard. So yeah, that's a big important point. I think that we make for our audience is that there's always going to be misinformation, but keep your head down. You know, focus on what you do best. Put out what you do best. Do your own research. Don't take other people's information. You know, sometimes I hear people a lot saying, just watch the realtors and watch the loan officers on social media and do exactly what they do. How about
do the opposite?
Do the opposite, right? Do something that's going to make you unique and stand out and make you true to yourself. At the end of the day, you're the only one that's going to have to, it is going to have to make it sustainable. You're going to have to stick with it on a daily. When I hear people go, oh, I really want to blow up on TikTok, you're like, really? You really ready for a full-time second job that you will be committed to whether you like it or not? If you don't feel creative, doesn't really matter. You better figure out something because you're only going to get a day or two to not be on.
But as soon as you stop, that's like prospecting. This is literally prospecting, right?
Yep.
If you stop prospecting in real estate and mortgages, the consumer just forgets about you. They think that you're on your, 50 million square foot yacht, rolling around the world, drinking champagne and eating caviar off of hot models. But in reality, you're sitting there shitting your panties going like, oh my God, I'm eating another PB&J out of my desk. I need a fucking closing. Oh my God. But perception is reality. So what you tell people, they know. That's the only thing about it. So if you tell them you're single, you're single. If you tell them you're married, you're married. If you tell them you're a top agent, you're a top agent. Now you can quantify that in multiple different realms. But that goes back to comparing yourself to other agents. Who cares about other people's achievements? Because here's the reason why. The misinformation here is this. They're projecting out a certain aura, certain era about them. In reality, maybe their marriage is falling apart. God bless them. Hopefully that's not happening. Maybe their child is sick. Maybe they just found out they have cancer. Maybe they're doing something to keep their minds off of something. So all they do is pour into work. And you're like, I have a full life. I have a beautiful spouse, incredible kids. I have an abundant life mindset and future, but there's different priorities, and you can never, ever, 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 ever judge yourself against somebody else because you don't know their walk, their struggle, and you can never compare it because you haven't been through their experiences. So when you see someone doing well, don't hate. You should hit them up and be like, you know what? You are crushing it. I love it. What can I learn from you?
Yes. And, you know, it goes with the word of the year. You know, the Webster's word of the year was authentic. I did find out from Elliot that the Oxford word was Riz. And I had to have him explain that one to me. I'm like, Riz, what's Riz? He's like charisma, like charisma. Riz is like, it's basically like charisma.
Interesting.
Oh, no. But,
I can see that actually. I can see that.
Yeah, that was a big word. But authentic, I did a video on it. I didn't really say anything substantial about it besides, you know, is this a word that you would agree? It did pretty well as far as like a lot of people obviously disagreeing that authentic wasn't the word they were thinking of. They were thinking more of like, you know, trash, shit, you know, like just going on and on about horrible words for the year. But authentic, I thought it was a good word because I feel like we value authenticity more than we ever have. It's not that we necessarily found it, but we're looking for it harder. We're thinking when we hear somebody giving information, we don't just take it at, you know, well, they have 500,000 followers, so they're probably right. No, we're looking deeper. We want to go watch a few of their other videos. We want to see what the comments say about those videos. We're trying to kind of get a little bit of a background check on people. I mean, look at me. I have, not kidding, a 12-step background check for every guy I've ever gone on a date with before we've ever even got to a date.
She's not kidding.
I'm not kidding. It's sad. I almost posted it last week and then I thought, no, don't do that.
No.
I was going to say, that'd be a fun Christmas party idea. You know, we bring out the records, you know, let's see. Are you on the good side where you're on missing money? Or are you on the bad side where you have a record that we just found?
Felon. Like a stalker.
But everybody didn't get the joke. So I was like, okay, maybe we won't do that joke. But I do think that authentic people are valued more in our lives. The people that not only authentic, but, you know, with AI, you know, you see, I can't tell you, I had my dating app or my dating website up or whatever, the app or whatever. Half of my pictures are AI and half of them aren't, purposely, because the ones that like the AI, I don't like.
There's so many things.
But trickster. But yeah, back to misinformation. The key is because of that word being authentic, you know, being such a big word, you can't get away. You won't get away with putting out misinformation. Not that anybody wants to anyway, but I think people are taking a step back a little bit more and trying to authenticate themselves, making sure that what they're talking about is real, you know, more and more.
Okay. Yeah. Thought here.
Okay.
When it comes to authenticating or getting ideas to be a non-misinformation spreader, I mean, I'm not a huge X or Twitter guy at all, like at all. But everyone always talks about the community notes, right? Mm-hmm. So what if you go out there and you get a following, you get some people, you're doing some posting, and then you start asking questions. Hey guys, I'm going to do a video about shkamaus, right? What are your thoughts? Give me 5 things on both sides. Yeah. Now you can reference people's thought patterns. Hey guys, I was on X today or yesterday or last week, and I asked a question, whatever it is. Okay, Susie Q from Illinois said this. Bob Smith from Arizona said this. Give 4 of them, and then you're like, okay, so here's what the real world's saying. What are your thoughts? Put them in the comments below. Now it's not you.
Now you're trying to demystify. Now you're trying to be that person who's getting rid of misinformation.
But you also give your point of view. You say, look, hey, as Alysa, as a lender for the last, 20 years, mm-hmm. 20 years, right?
21, yeah.
21 years. Okay. 21 years. This is interesting because here's what I know to be true about this person, that person, this person. Everyone's got great points. Here's what's reality. Bing, bang, boom, boom, boom.
Right.
Now you're an authority, but you haven't just sat on a pulpit. You're actually talking with the people that are interacting with you. And that's something that
I'm always looking for evidence. I'm always looking for, if somebody makes a claim, I'm always looking for the evidence behind it. And I'll tell you what, as a lender, realtor, you can win everybody over by not only stating your claim, but then backing it up. There's no better demonstration of who you are and what you're about and the problem solver that you are and the creative loan officer you are, then in your post and explaining, why you think this is true or not true. I've seen more people that I have wanted to reach out to just because of the way that they not only made their claim, but defined it, explained it, brought out their evidence and everything, and I think that's what you have to do these days. You have to be ready to support it.
So let's go. We got a few minutes left until we both got to jump hard for different meetings. Our good friend Brian, who was on the show, Brian Cassala, he had a huge amount of channels, and he talked about this on the show, so it's not like I'm saying something he didn't already say. But I mean, he got shut down for some thoughts he had on certain subject matters, and the social media giants were like, "Yeah, squish." And I've seen my numbers go squish because I've said some things which I'm looking back, I'm going, I probably should shut the fuck up about that. But
or come back on and said I messed up.
Or come back and say you messed up. So be careful about the verbiage you use. Make sure you stay professional and authentic to your content channel. If you mix and match too much, you're going to run into a problem really quickly on that.
You don't want to be well known for being a misinformer. That's not going to work well.
In personal and professional life, it's not a positive move to play. So let's get into two more topics and then we're out of here. Bots and fake news. We know that there are billions of bots out there that are just crushing fake news out, right? So when you're trying to learn something, are there sites that you go to for agents and or lenders that or feel authentically honest to say that, I think this is probably the best place to get this kind of knowledge?
Right. Guidelines. That I stick to guidelines. The Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, FHA. But I'll tell you, there's a website, if you're a loan officer out there listening, and if you haven't already subscribed, Mortgage Currency is one of the best. I think I've had it for 15 years. I had it back when the original lady started. Tammy Butler's amazing, but she runs it now. And Mortgage Currency, I can put in any question, and not only is it going to come up with an answer, or at least get me in touch with an expert, and it's going to provide me the actual guideline, the pages, the numbers, so I can print it and put it in my file to an underwriter. You and I both know you can't do anything with just walking into an underwriter. I had somebody ask me the other day, we need to get an underwriter who understands these subject to transactions. And I said, I get it. I get where you're going with it. We want to create this little team. However, underwriters follow the guidelines. Now, is there times when things can be, you can sway an underwriter? There's been many over the years that I've been able to go in and say, you're actually incorrect on this, and point out to them where they're incorrect. And they're like, oh my gosh. I remember that was an epiphany moment when you can turn an underwriter around on an idea. But sometimes it's black and white. And so sometimes you do need to be careful that you don't have people that are just almost fluffing you, to hopefully have you send them business, and then they can't back anything up. So I would say Mortgage Currency is excellent for lenders. Realtors, I think more than anything else, we have a good community. There's a few good community groups out there that you don't want to always rely on. But I think if you can get 2 or 3 people that have been in the business a long time and actively work the business, not just I've been in this business 30 years. No, I actively work the business today, because that doesn't mean anything, your time.
Aunt Sally from 1973 selling real estate or doing loans, when there's a one-page contract, lends there to be a problem in regards to how transactions are supposed to be led.
It's crazy.
So you know what?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to quickly say one thing. When it comes to real estate news, I go to Inman News. I get a subscription, $100, $200 a year. It's well worth it. The content you have in there is absolutely astronomically awesome.
Housing Wire.
Yep. Housing Wire, realtytimes.com. Go to the consumer advice tab. They got short little articles. You can recreate it. It's already SEO charged. I mean, there's a lot of sites where you can go get stuff that's not fake and it's easy to put out for social media and just for talking conversations at at holiday parties, pool events, walking on the paths with people or around parks. It's just a knowledge base for everybody involved. So Alyssa, give me your final takeaways real quick, because I got to jump here because I got an hour drive down to a meeting.
Yeah, just to pay attention like we all are. That's my number one thing, is just pay attention and dig a little bit deeper before you pass on any information, whether it sounds like it's going to help you or not. Let's stop the misinformation. I don't want to see you use it just as a way for you to try to build your viewership, because it's not the way to go. Ethically, we should all remember that we should be here to try to better each other, not take away. So that's my thoughts.
Perception is reality.
That's the truth.
So if you're being seen as a misinformer, you're a misinformer to the consuming public.
Yeah.
If you are a genuine guy or gal, then you are a genuine guy or gal, like Alyssa stated earlier in the show. If you guys didn't see it, that's why she joined me as a co-host, because she said I'm probably one of the only people in her life that's never asked for a single thing from her. And I never will. Because that's not what I'm here for, right? I'm here to be a friend, and I'm here to help us bring value to the real estate community. So go out there
and
I
strive to be like that too. Not to interrupt you, but I strive to be like that too with everything, because I think I don't want people to feel that there's that agenda there, because there's not. I wish I could say it more. Like, if you even knew, believe me, if there was an agenda, I'd probably be a billionaire by now. But I think that's all you should ever. It doesn't really matter how successful or not successful you are at this moment in your career. You should be grateful that you're not a misinformer, and that you are authentic, and that you are doing your best to try to live an authentic, correct, truthful life.
Yeah, true, honest, careful, real human life. Don't be a bot, motherfuckers. Yeah. Don't bring fake news. All right. So Alyssa Gletz, Color My Credit, TikTok. You are a massive star on that channel. Where can people go learn from you, watch your live videos?
Monday and Friday, 11 to noon Arizona time, is my TikTok show that I do every week. But go to Color My Credit or go to glutzgroup.com. Connect with me on social media, on all the Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, all of them.
And I would love guys, as her friend, I can honestly verify she will get back to you. That's the craziest part. She's that honest. Guys, go follow us. Give us a like. Give us a comment. Smash that subscribe button. Make sure that you guys share this with somebody. That really helps our channels, helps the podcast. And I just got to tell you, I love you. I couldn't do it without you guys, and especially Alyssa right now. I couldn't do it without Alyssa. And we are going to keep coming back. We have more amazing guests. Unfortunately, our guest today was sick. She couldn't make the show. We're hoping her all wellness and best of health. But we have more people coming in, and we have a really, really special guest coming in January. He's one of the biggest economists in the world.
He's sexy. Yes.
Well,
sorry.
He's very sexy.
That too. 60. And we've got an awesome couple great things coming on with some of the stuff we talked about today. Alternatives for sellers.
Yeah, guys, stay tuned. Follow us. Hit us up for DMs for any questions, thoughts, or theories. But until next time, peace out, ninjas. We gone.